Good afternoon, curling fans. Welcome to the women's draw of the 2020 Under-21 Provincial Championships, brought to you by AMJ Campbell. My name is Katarina Hackinson, and I am joined by Jeremy Stewart. Thanks for joining us, Jeremy.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Kat.
And Team Callaghan in the pre-game practice had the best draw to the 4-foot. They were just biting 4, where Team Mosher was just tight of the ring, so Callaghan has hammer, and we just saw Team Mosher's lead, Catherine Myers, just slip her first rock through the back of the house. We will, over the first few ends, introduce you to both teams. And for Team Callaghan, the lead is Abby Penny. And so, Jeremy, this game is in the C bracket, and for those viewers who don't know the format, it is a triple knockout. There are 3 divisions, the A, B, and the C. The triple knockout means you can only lose 3 games before you're sent home, and so this is a make-or-break game for our teams here today.
That's right, it's an important one.
We did take a look at the road to the playoffs for the teams through the C bracket, and it is a must-win for the rest of the tournament for the team that wins this game. So they'd have 3 more games until they make playoffs. So a long road ahead, but definitely possible. Anything's possible.
That's right. It's a good thing about curling.
Once you get on that momentum, get rolling, it's not so bad. You just get that win under your belt and keep going.
And that's going to be important here for both teams to get on the right foot right from the beginning. It's a long game, but starting out on the right foot is important.
And so our game today is 10 ends. We will have a 5th end break in the middle for the teams to chat with their coaches, get something to eat and rest. And we will, throughout every end, as soon as the scores for all the other games are posted, we will update you with those as well. Live scores are posted on nscurl.com, and we also have Sheet C, which is McNutt versus Fitzgerald on the other live stream if you'd like to listen in. Commentators are Kristen Clark and Mary Sue Radford. Jeremy, a fairly open end for the first end for these girls?
Yeah, I'm not surprised. It's a good opportunity to figure out the ice and get comfortable on the sheet.
Also a great opportunity to bank some time.
That's right. How much time do they get? I think
they get 38 minutes.
And is that playing time, including thinking time? Or
thinking time, yeah. So from basically your time is running from when your rock crosses or once you take possession of control. Kind of once control is in your court, your thinking time starts, and then once your rock passes the back line.
Right. It really takes some teams used to play a lot of hits at the beginning in order to increase their playing time, but that sort of takes that away. Right?
Yes, definitely. And that's the benefit. With a 10-end game, you can take those first few ends to really get a sense of the ice. The teams have a pre-game practice, so each practice is roughly 10 minutes. They get to throw whatever kind of shots they want, but the ice can change with more rocks that go up and down the sheet the faster the ice gets. And so even though they've had that practice, this is still a great opportunity for the teams to take the first few ends to really get comfortable. The provincial is nerve-wracking to start with, but an elimination game is even more nerve-wracking for these girls.
Yeah, it really adds the pressure. It's an opportunity for Team Mosher to sit 2. Get this draw in there.
Yeah, and so we do have, as you can see on your screens at home, Team Mosher throwing the blue rocks, and we have Team Callaghan throwing the yellow rocks. And it just hangs on. So we've got the call for the hit and roll here, trying to not necessarily get both blue rocks out of the house, but trying to get the rock in the 8-foot biting the 4 out and just roll closer to the other one to make it more difficult for Team Mosher.
You can see the teams using directional sweeping here, trying to get that rock to curl a little more.
Just a little. Didn't curl quite enough, but gives Mosher the chance to split the house. And you notice there, very small difference, but Clara Mosher just asked for the draw to be in the 12-foot, and all she's doing there is really trying to change the location of the rock so that she's not giving Team Callaghan the same shot, which is a very smart move. That it'd be very easy to say just put it back right here, but changing the path a little bit just to hope for a miss. We look like we may have a little bit of weight on this one. The sweepers have backed off. Oh, and just through the back. So that opens it up for Team Callaghan to make the hit and keep this end pretty wide open. It looks like this rock has over-curled. And so Clara Mosher going back to call the same shot over to the 12-foot. And while this draw comes down, we'll introduce you to some of the other sheets. On sheet B, we have Batherson versus Team Notting. On sheet C, we have Fitzgerald versus McNutt. And on sheet E, we have Moore versus Stevens. Team McNutt and Team Fitzgerald are the other game in the C division, and Notting and Batherson and Moore and Stevens are in the B, both playing B semis to see who will play for the B playoff spot.
Oh, great sweeping.
And a tough hit and roll there to try to get them closer together. That's some great separation.
Yeah, that's a great location. There's no double there. Very tough. And Team Callaghan looking for the hit here and to create any clustering of the rocks possible. Oh, I might have spoken too soon saying that was harder. Oh, and just over the top. What a great try. Yeah, that was very close. Very close.
And we've got skip Clara Mosher coming down for her first rock of the game. Sweepers seem to be on that right away. We'll try to get a hog-to-hog time for viewers at home who are interested in what the ice is doing. And just shy of the ring. So for those who don't know what a hog-to-hog time is, we're looking at the time the rock takes to get from the thrower's hog line to the playing hog line, and And that one, Jeremy, was just over 15 seconds. So I think the girls are probably looking for about 14 or 14 and a half seconds to get to the house. Maybe a little more with some really powerful sweeping.
So that will change as the game goes on?
Yeah, so it probably changed a little bit from practice. There were a few in practice that were a little bit higher, and that has keened up a little bit. And as we have more rocks on the ice and more sweeping on the ice, that will speed up a little bit. But we'll keep an eye on that throughout the game, and ice can change depending on a variety of different conditions.
Opportunity taken by Team Callaghan.
And Clara Mosher looking for the nose hit. Wants to stay in the rings to force Callaghan to make the shot for the blank end.
Now, if you could ever roll in front of those catchers there in the back,
You would be pretty golden.
it would be harder to remove. I think she's just concentrating on getting rid of it.
Sweepers are on and off, so that's a good sign. Oh, and just gonna roll out.
Okay, one easy blank for Team Callaghan.
And while this may seem like the easiest shot of the game for Team Callaghan, this is a great opportunity to pick a spot in the ice, obviously away from the rocks on the side of the house there, but to pick a spot and throw whatever kind of hit weight or heavier weight that you're looking for. You'd want to throw something hack or bumper, but to see what the ice is doing there, and that's really, even though she's just throwing it through to get that blank, it is an opportunity to learn something new about the ice that you can't get any other way.
Absolutely.
Even though sometimes it can be fun to just fire one down there.
Take out some frustration on a tough end.
Yeah, on a blank attempt.
Yeah. No, it was a great start. Good end.
And both teams chatting before the start of the second end, probably just talking about their end plan and what they want to do. We all know the end can change quickly, but to go into it with a solid plan that the whole team agrees on is really important. I was commentating one of Clara Mosher's games yesterday, and they played very quickly. They were about half an end ahead of everyone else, so we'll see. We're on par with the Moore Stevens game right now, but we'll see if that holds true or if our game slows down a little bit. But we'll also keep you updated on the time and how much time each team has left as we go.
They're really sweeping this one hard.
And that was Catherine Myers, the lead for Team Mosher. Catherine has been curling for 11 years, and she's 17 years old. She's in grade 12 and plans to go to St. Mary's University. And here for Team Callaghan, we have Abigail Penny. She is 15 years old, a grade 10 student at Sir John A. Macdonald, and she's curled for 9 years. Some other sports here for her, Jeremy. She plays flag football and is also a part of her high school cross country and track and field teams.
Oh.
Great shot. So we saw the center guard go up by Team Mosher, who don't have the hammer this end, so I think we're going to see a few more rocks in play.
Playing the freeze.
Yeah.
Sweepers are working on it. They just come off.
Looks like we may have a little bit of a bump, so we'll see. Great shot.
So Marin Callaghan looks like she's calling a hit and roll. The rock does appear to be exposed. It looks about half a rock from where we're sitting.
We'll see a nice lightweight hit here, maybe bumper weight.
Yeah, she's not giving her a lot of ice, but she's coming out with what looks like bumper or a controlled hit weight. Sweeper's on it quickly. It is diving towards the center line fairly quickly.
Yeah, just over curled just a little bit.
And so that guard will be replaced based on the 5 rock rule, so
That's
that
right.
can't be taken out of play just yet for those at home wondering why the teams are putting rocks back in play. With that miss, this is advantage team Mosher.
They have a nice stone in the top 4, and they can guard that stone and keep a guard for the rest of the end. They look good to steal one here.
And this is Courtney Lutz, the second for Team Mosher. She's 17 years old and she's been curling for 11 years. She is in grade 12 and her plan is to go to St. Francis University in next year to take kinesiology. Great shot there. It does open up the double with that top rock that she just threw exposed, but we'll see what Team Callaghan chooses to play.
Just nose gets the 2 of them.
Yep, just a little off nose. Looks like it gets both of them, and your shooter would be up top and would create a little bit of confusion for Team Mosher, a little bit of more rocks in play, more to work around. Sweeping it to make it curl with a directional sweeping.
Just enough. Push it back. And it hangs on the back.
And Claire Mosher showing complete composure and making more aggressive calls. I noticed this in her game yesterday as well. She's very decisive and seems to be thinking a few shots ahead at all times and knows where she wants the broom and what ice she's taking, which is a fantastic quality in a skip, especially at 17 years old. The girls are sweeping hard on this one. And just shy.
Just shy of the house. Leaves an opportunity for Team Callaghan to place one in there. Come around the other side.
Sweeping hard on this one as well, trying to keep it away from those guards.
Looks like they may be struggling with the ice a little bit. It's curling a bit more than they expect.
And that is with that first end with the hits running up and down the ice. A few draws, but a lot of draws on the other side of the sheet. Could make it a little more challenging, but we'll see what Team Mosher comes up with here. While we wait for this draw to be thrown, we will give you an update on the other sheets. Sheet B, Batherson and Notting. Notting got 3 in the first end, and they're just into their second end. On sheet C, McNutt and Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald got 1 in the first end, and they are halfway through their second end. And on sheet E, Moore versus Stevens. Callie Moore got 1 in the first end, and they are well into their second end as well. This rock, Jeremy, looks like it's got a little bit of weight on it, but Claire looks to be playing to the back yellow with the extra weight. Which is great communication from the sweepers to say this rock's heavy. We don't want it to not count for anything, so what can we do? And Claire acknowledging that there is that yellow in the back that they can draw down to.
It's great communication, great teamwork. Now, Team Callaghan is looking at a possible hit and roll over on top of.
I think she just changed her mind to this draw top 4.
I think that's an excellent choice.
Definitely try to generate a few more points this end, and that the blue rock is shot, but that's not, it's back 8, it's not really a threat to Callaghan being able to score points at the end of the end, so.
You can see those nice 2 center guards there. If they can get buried around those, they'll be sitting well. Looks a little heavy.
And just freezes the blue to that back yellow, but her yellow is exposed, so we'll see what Clara decides to play. And without hesitation, she called that hit and roll.
Yep. She doesn't want to play with that yellow stone. And without having the hammer, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, second end, eliminate the yellow rocks, but take advantage when you can. This is the third for Team Mosher, Emma Noss. She is 18 years old and in grade 12. And she plans to attend the pre-vet program at the University of PEI. She's been curling for 14 years. She started when she was 4.
Wow.
That's impressive.
It's very impressive. So we had a little crash into the guards there and bumped a blue stone up for second rock.
And this gives Lane Christie the opportunity to sit 2. Looks like they're trying to make the rock curl a little bit. Oh, just rolled out. And Jeremy, that seemed like quite a bit of weight. I think, maybe playing a little less weight, you're able to control your shooter and where it rolls a little bit better.
Yeah, really bring the sweepers into the game, have a little more control over the line.
But that is a lot easier to say sitting behind the glass. I have never missed a shot on this side of the glass.
That's right.
I have missed many on the other side.
Armchair curling. We're all really good at that, aren't we?
I'm a very good armchair curler, yeah. I think this is the first year my eye twitch of junior curling has stopped. I managed to lose 4 provincial finals in a row, 4 years in a row, so New Year's Eve was always not my favorite night. But it's so much fun watching the girls now and watching everybody compete for this dream to go to the Junior Nationals. And the Junior Nationals are only 3 weeks away.
There we go.
And now we've got blue sitting 2. And speaking of those nationals, the winner, both the women's and the men's, will be going to Langley, BC for the Canadian Championships from January 18th to 26th at the George Preston Recreation Center. And that's not a quick flight, so that's a full day of travel for these teams and their parents and support systems.
Nice peel. It's a difficult shot way out there on the wings. Ooh. I was taking a look at Sheet E, which is right in front of us.
It's hard not to watch. They're right there. I think our viewers can see a little bit of that game too sometimes. So that's the beside us is Moore and Stevens, which is that B semi to play in the B final this evening at 8 o'clock. But here on sheet D, we have a hit by Team Callaghan to sit 1. And a great opportunity for Clara on her last rock of the end to hit and roll. And really with that blue guard up there from a previous shot, it makes it hard for Team Callaghan to draw in without any complication. The draw is there, but makes it a little more complicated for them if this shot's made. Hit.
So that leaves a nice open hit for 1, which both teams would probably be happy with.
And we've got a timeout on our sheet. Timeout was called by Team Callaghan.
It's an early timeout.
Yeah, we'll have to watch what the coach is saying here. I don't know if Coach Mike Callaghan, Marin's father, sees something that we don't see. If only we could hear him, Jeremy. There's a lot of pointing going on, but I can't quite hear what he's saying. But he's got something on his mind, so he's telling the girls.
There's something. It's a good learning opportunity. I'm sure they're learning from this experience. Discussing some possible options. I'm not sure what they would be talking about. It's, to me, it's an open hit for 1. Right, they're facing 2, so you got to be careful you don't roll out or...
Definitely.
I don't think there's an opportunity for more than 1.
And he could very well be talking to them about their hit weight. He could, it could be something that he's noticed in the first 2 ends that he wants to kind of correct or make sure that they know going forward. Mike Callaghan himself is a very experienced curler and is a tremendous coach for this team. Obviously, he's a father of Marin, and he's got another daughter playing on Team Stevens. So as much as he's paying attention to sheet D, I think his eyes probably wander a little bit to sheet E as well.
Oh, I bet they do.
Ours do, so I'm sure his do. If only we could interview him as he walks by. Mike, what were your thoughts? But we'll let him go and watch his team.
Could have been something as simple as what turn to play.
Yeah. I didn't notice what turn they had down before he went out. Did you notice that, Jeremy?
I didn't.
No. But it does look like a softer hit weight. But the sweeper's called off for now. About a 10-second hit weight. Great
Perfect.
shot.
It's really tough right after the coach comes out. Maybe changes your shot, the shot you were going to make, and you have to quickly get used to a change and settle right in and try to take the coach's advice into play. Sometimes that's hard to make that change really quick, but they did a great job, made the shot.
Definitely. And so we've got a point on the board.
That brings us to 1-0 for Team Callaghan, starting the third end.
And some updates for you on Sheet B. Team Batherston got 1 point in the second end, so it is now 3-1 for Team Notting playing the third. In Sheet C, Team McNutt got 1 point in the second end, so it is 1-1 for McNutt and Fitzgerald playing the third. In Sheet E, there was a blank end in the second, so it is still 1-0 for Team North. And just a reminder, if you want to keep up on the scores a little bit faster than we do, then you can visit nscurl.com and all of the live scores are posted. We have a wonderful volunteer posting the scores, and she is very busy. I can watch her from my seat, and so she will keep you as updated as the ends go along. Oh, and just a miss on our sheet there, Jeremy.
They were going for the hit there on that yellow in the top four.
They were, and she looked like she just grazed by it. And so Abby Penny looking to... I didn't see the original call, but I believe they called the tight guard. Sometimes we take a little bit of a guess based on the ice because the players are communicating out there, but we're not necessarily listening to them and how they communicate. So it looks like a great shot.
Looks to be about halfway tight. Maybe the outside of the rock might be open a little bit. You can see a quarter of it. We're going to try to come around the outside of that guard.
Looks like we've got some weight on this one, maybe trying to bump it back to the back of the house or potentially all the way out.
I think with that weight, you probably bump it out. Let's see what happens here. Get by the guard. Yep.
Great shot.
That rock must be open.
It must be more than we can see.
Yeah, in order to hit it with that weight.
Yeah. Based on the center line, it looks like, if not all of it, at least 3/4 of it.
Yeah.
And this is Mackenzie Hill. Mackenzie is 15 years old, just as all the other players on the team are 15 years old. She's in grade 10 at Dartmouth High. And this is her 8th year curling. Oh, just by that guard, from my view anyway.
Yes, yeah. So now it looks like they don't think it's possible to get underneath, so they're going to roll away. As that rock gets higher in the rings, it gets harder and harder to get around that guard.
Yeah, and with Clara Mosher having hammer, she may be trying to move some play away from the center and bring it to the wings to generate a deuce. Looks like it just over curled, but her shooter does roll into the rings as long as it stops. Maybe a little spin back. Oh, it does.
And that rock could come into play later.
Marin looks like she's deciding what to do with it, and she's going to go and protect that rock of hers in the top 8 foot.
Do you ever go back and hit that blue one, not having the hammer, or perhaps bring another one into the 4 foot, or maybe play a raise?
I think it's all depending on what the team strategy is. So if the team is saying, let's force Clara to 1, then by hitting that one, you're really keeping your rocks in play and your rocks in control. Here, this shot, you could still be trying to force Clara to win, but you could also just be trying to apply more pressure. So while Team Callaghan may not be trying to steal, I mean, I don't think they're going to say no to a steal, but they are applying more pressure and saying, I'm not so much worried about this back 12 just yet, but, you know, we're here to play. We're here to get aggressive in this third end. And Clara very much composed, and she says, yeah, I still got that biter over there. I'm still going to try to generate my 2.
I think with this one, she's able to throw another lightweight hit, try to get around that guard that's just played, and get access to this one in the top 8. Sweepers are working it. Looks like they're sweeping for it to curl. Oh, and just by. So now Team Callaghan gets an opportunity to perhaps tighten that scoring area a little bit more, get another one closer to the pin. I'm going to come around the other side this time.
And we haven't seen a lot of draws up this side of the sheet, so it'll be interesting to see, in terms of draw weight, what Lane Christie throws and where this rock ends up. Sweepers are on it right out of her hand. I'd like to say that my eyes are perfect, but that did look a little light out of her hand and just crashing on there, or just bumping into the top guard there.
Makes it tough to see. Looks like, are they trying a double peel?
It looks like she is trying to clear the front, which is a great call. The one thing, in the angle in which we're sitting is not the best for this, but to see where that back yellow, that original guard, where that's going to go if contact is made with both of these rocks.
Yeah, I wonder if it could jam on that back blue one.
And our viewers at home may have a better angle on that right now, but we'll see what happens here with Emma's rock. She threw great weight. Oh, and it just misses the blue, so that's good. But still leaves that blue out front, so we'll see what Marin decides to do. And giving Lane a chance at that draw again. So she's seen it already. She's thrown a little light on her first one, and let's see how she reacts to her do-over, we'll call it.
It's always nice as a thrower to get that second opportunity to make that shot.
We'll see this one coming in here just past the top 12 weight. Looks great. Maybe a little heavy. Ideally, she would have loved that to be in the top 4, but not a bad outcome at all for Lane Christie. See, Clara looks like she's calling the double on these, Jeremy. Do you see that?
I do. I saw the decisiveness that you were discussing earlier. I would have thought they would have at least looked at following it down. But they don't want to give up on their 2, I don't think.
And that shows Clara saying, I'm confident in my ability to make my last 2 shots, so I'm going to, call these shots so that we open it up to give me a chance to make, or, to give us a chance to get 2. Great shot.
Excellent.
Called and made.
I wonder if that confidence travels from the skip down to the thrower and really helps them feel like, yes, I can make the shot, I'm going to make it.
Yeah.
Everyone's confident.
And that is really with, team dynamics and getting to know your team. And the rest of the team, if you notice the skip, or really anyone on the team, is having trouble with their confidence in a specific game, because it can fluctuate. Sometimes we have it, sometimes we don't. But to be able to bring everybody back up and keep everyone, in a positive mindset for the game.
Yes.
Clara's decisiveness, I know if I were playing as a member of Clara's team, her decisiveness would make me feel more confident because she seems to have confidence in what she does. And we haven't introduced Maren Callaghan, so she's also 15 years old. This is her 9th year curling, and she is in grade 10 at CPA. And for 15 years old, she has incredible skills as a shot maker and calling the game.
Excellent shot to roll over and still be shot rock.
And the margin for error here for Clara, ideally she'd like to get a roll in towards the center line, but that could open up a jam on the back blue. So Maren has to be careful here with how she throws this. Clara has to be careful here with how she throws this.
What did they decide to go with here? Are they going after the yellow?
I believe she's playing to the yellow that Maren just threw. We'll wait and watch which turn she throws, but I know they were looking at that jam for a second, so.
I believe so.
Sweeper's called on right out of her hand. Just jams in the back, and it looks to me, Jeremy, like yellow is shot rock.
Yes.
And that is the risk they're playing. That's why Maren's first shot was, strategically the shooter rolled to a great spot because it opens up that potential. Maren originally looked at the hit, but where the blue rock is second shot and that same jam is available, she has the whole 8 foot to draw to really make that force for Team Mosher for just 1 point. Callaghan having a little bit of a chat while Maren's in the hack about the shot, but and I can't tell if she's playing a tap on this, Jeremy, or if she's trying to come in between the two guards.
Well, she might have chose this turn for the potential of either option. I think she's coming around.
Well, sweeper, we just had a sweeper wave them off that quickly, so I think it's a little heavy.
As long as they said 2.
But still a great shot.
Yeah.
And Clara, decisive. I'm drawing to the 4 foot, I'm going to get my 1 point.
That's right. She knew if that rock went behind the tee line, she had an opportunity to use it as backing and come in there and get her 1.
And Claire's out of the hack with her last rock of the end. Looking for a draw for 1. Sweeper's indicating it's a little bit heavy. Great communications. There is that yellow rock in the back they can come down to if needed.
Great shot.
Nice shot for 1. And this is a great chance to tell our viewers, if you'd like to come watch here at the Lakeshore Curling Club in Sackville, there is seating inside where you can be warm like us, or there's seating outside and you can listen to the players, you can listen to the sweeping calls. Out on the ice, just bring maybe a hat, scarf, and some mittens. It is curling ice.
You can see a few blankets out there.
But some dedicated fans, some noisemakers, some cheering. I don't know if you're picking up on that at home, but really great, because when the winning teams go to junior nationals, it will be louder than it is, than they're used to here in their curling club. So it's a great prep kind of preparation, I guess, for the teams to go with a little bit more distraction, a little bit more noise. But the fans are dedicated. And there is a canteen here with coffee, tea, hot chocolate, snacks. So if you're too cold, you can come in and warm up. And so I believe Clara Mosher was calling the center guard there, but it might have overcurled just a little bit into more of a corner.
So Team Callaghan can use that as their guard and start by going right in the rings.
So Abby throwing a wide out turn draw. And potentially a bit of a newer path out this wide. Broom's on the edge of the 12-foot. And that can catch you off guard a little bit.
Saw an indication that it may be curling. I didn't see that. It looks like it hung out there a bit.
Looks like the weight's really coming off. Its sweepers are working hard.
Wow.
It's a great shot. It looked like it had some great movement towards hog line in.
You may be able to see it on the outside. Really not a bad thing, because you hit that, you're potentially rolling away.
And Courtney working on this one hard to get by the guard, and it just kisses the guard. But if we look at the positive from that shot, the blue rock is moved more towards the center. Can benefit Clara and team towards the end of the end.
Yeah, it was a really good outcome in the end. It opened up that yellow stone and it moved the guard closer towards the center.
And so another wide draw here on the other side of the sheet, trying to come around that center guard. Both sweepers going on it, and we could have a little bit, the weights a little different on each side of the sheet depending on how much has been played. But sweepers are working hard on this to get a biter. That's always a tough one as a sweeper. You sweep the whole sheet. You just think, darn, it was so close.
It's true, and sometimes, it could be a usable rock in the end. The closer they get it, it makes a tap easier or a possible angle raise. I'm amazed at the athleticism that goes into the sport. A lot of people don't realize how much energy and strength it takes to sweep a rock down the entire length of the sheet.
Oh, it's always my favorite, especially with the people I work with. We did a team curling event one night, and people said, "Oh, curling, that's not too active, or you don't have to be too fit." And then after that one event, they all kind of went, "Oh my gosh, I'm sore." It was a Friday night, and they came back to work on Monday or Tuesday still sore.
That's right.
So a little bit of validation there. I enjoyed that. And listening, I was talking to Scott Notting, who's the coach of Team Notting, and talking about his girls' team training at the Canada Game Centre this summer, and it really is you don't necessarily curl in the summer, but the training and the gym and staying fit and working specifically on training plans for curlers, and that is the norm now. That's not just the Brad Jacobs or the Kevin Cooeys of the world doing that. That's everybody. And so it's great to see that our teams here are working that hard to get in shape and to achieve their dreams of going to junior nationals and potentially worlds, as we've seen in this province in the last few years, which is wonderful.
Yes.
So we'll take this chance to update you on some of our other sheets. So sheet B, Batherson and Notting. Notting picked up a 2 in the third end, so it is 5-1 for Notting playing the fourth. McNutt stole 3 in the third end against Fitzgerald, so they're leading 4-1. And on sheet E, Team Moore and Team Stevens are tied at 1-1, and Team Moore has the hammer playing the fourth end.
Team Mosher threw that a little heavy. They didn't want it to be in the back of the rings there. Bit of opportunity for Callaghan.
This one looks to be just a tiny bit heavy, potentially, but sweepers are trying to keep it above the tee line.
We use that blue one as backing or freeze down on.
A chance for Team Mosher to shrink the scoring area a little bit by sitting on this one.
Sweepers going hard on this one.
Great communication on this shot here by all 4 members of the team.
Great weight.
That's a great shot, and a reason that's great top 4 instead of coming right back to the yellow rock back 4 is that it does shrink that scoring area. And now Team Callaghan has a hard time getting to the button to score. They'll have to play off these guards here.
I'm really impressed with that. Sweep that stone into play. Had they waited, they might not have gotten it there.
They did, and both teams seem to be communicating very well, right from the rock leaving the thrower's hand to the rock making contact at the end.
Peel there by Team Callaghan. Rolled a little bit away. It still could be used.
And so Clara calling the tap back on the blue that was just thrown, just to tap that rock back to the yellow rock and to sit biting the top of the 4-foot, which would make it even harder for Team Callaghan to get in, but it is more open, so a chance to throw some weight and move some granite. It's my brother's favorite, was when curling commentators say, move some granite. So.
It's a lot of weight you're moving around there, right? They're what, 50, 55 pounds a rock?
44 pounds,
44 pounds.
It is quite a bit. I have helped out making the ice in my day, and they are not light rocks to pick up if you need to pick them up. And so that's an unfortunate miss there. Just a little wide and a little heavy and caught off the guard and gives Callaghan a chance to play at that blue and potentially sit too.
To be a little careful of the 2 blue stones up front. They don't want to nick on those. They need to choose the turn very carefully. And there's a big enough hole there. There shouldn't have too much of a problem.
And this is Lane Christie. Sweeping on and off. Sign of a good shot. Oh, and just hangs out there just long enough to catch that guard.
try the tap back again.
And we've got a timeout call here for Team Mosher. Team Mosher have some smiles on their face coming down, so I don't know if they called the timeout or if the coach did, but Coach Bob Martin is on his way out to chat with Team Mosher. It'd be interesting to see, other than playing that tap back. I mean, the tap back could open up a double if you don't make it perfectly, but Coach Bob could be talking to the girls about throwing a guard. There are a few options here, so it'll be interesting to see what they decide.
Yeah, so they don't have hammer, so the guard could be an interesting call, or perhaps a freeze. Now we're not going to see. She's just going to put the broom up, but that ice, it could be a guard, it could be a freeze, it could be a tap back with lightweight.
I'm going to put a toonie on a guard.
A toonie?
I know, big spender. Big spender over here.
I think you're right.
It's after the holidays. If it was before, maybe $10, but we'll go with the toonie today. And the guard, not a bad call if that's the call that they've decided on with their coach. We see Emma indicating her broom higher, so I think they're looking for about a halfway guard just past this blue one. But trying to make a curl right now, it seems to be staying out there on that line. And it does look, Jeremy, to me that rock and the blue rock top 4 is still open.
It is open. There is a high guard on the right side. Could make the turn tough. Got to throw a lot of weight and try to take the curl out a little bit to get through that port. They didn't look at it for too long, so it could be a good size port.
Or their confidence levels and their ability to read the ice and throw are just very high, which would be great as well.
Absolutely.
That's why I could never skip.
Yeah, it takes a lot of confidence.
I was not the decisive one, so... A call for directional sweeping to make the rock curl.
Wow.
Makes contact and stays. 4-second shot. That's a great shot by Maren Callaghan.
Nice to see some high fives there. Well deserved. Team Mosher has to think about this one a little bit.
Yeah, this one is, you have some time, so good to take time and think about what the best option here is. Not a big deal to give up a 2. Obviously, we'd love to get 2 points when we have hammer and keep the opponent to 1. But here for Claire Mosher, the big thing is not giving up a 3.
That's right. We're still early in the game. These are 10 end games. We are the 4th end. Tie 1-1. Lots of time left.
When coming to the end of this end, Clara Mosher's team has just over 25 minutes left on the clock, and Maren Callaghan's team has just over 24, so still lots of time. It looks to me, Jeremy, like she's elected to draw to the back 4 or to the rock on this side. Oh, looks like she's coming to the back 4.
curling in there. Going to drag it in. As they sweep, it moves a little bit more to the right.
My eyes may just not be what they were in junior curling, but I can't quite tell who shot there.
I don't think they can either. Sometimes the angle when you look on the camera is a little deceiving because you're not right over top of the rocks, so they really have to take a good look at them to figure it out.
I don't think there's an easy shot there. Even if they think blue is second shot, I don't think there's an easy shot for 3 to remove that blue stone, so I think they're just going to play the draw to the 4-foot and count on a measure.
I would think a guaranteed 2 and a possible 3 isn't too bad.
I would take it. Lots of chat here, but I think they're electing for the draw, just drawing back to their yellow in the back 4.
The 2 options they were considering is one sort of coming outside of that top blue guard and one coming inside. I would worry a little bit coming inside of that it might over curl and hit that blue, but it looks like there's space there. And they've seen this path, which is a good reason to throw it again.
And that's Marin. Going through Marin's head right now would be to make sure she gets her 2. Not to worry about that 3rd, but to really avoid that blue rock that was just thrown by Clara. So the last thing you want to do is tap that in. Sweepers are off. Looks like they're waiting for it to curl off this top blue. It just kisses it. And unless the girls know, we may have a measure. Team Mosher thinks it's 1 yellow, but if I were on Team Mosher, I would say that too.
Yeah, that's always a good idea when it's close to grab a measure. I saw pointing.
And good for Team Callaghan to call for the measure, even if it's close and you think, we've got wonderful umpires and volunteers and ice techs and people here to support this event, and so the umpires are coming out with the measuring stick now, and the players just have to watch. They don't have to do anything, which is kind of nice.
Gives them a little break.
And here we've got the measure coming in. So we definitely have 1 point for yellow for Team Callaghan, and we're just measuring here for those just joining us for the 2nd point. Any bets, Jeremy?
I want to say that it's blue. It may be the camera angle that I'm looking at.
That I don't know. It is blue.
Yeah, you saw the umpire point to the blue stone, indicating that the blue is shot compared to the yellow.
That was an exciting end. Lots of different shots and little momentum swings. And now our feature sheet will go into its 5th end, and at the end of the 5th end, the players will take a 5-minute break. For the viewers at home who are stuck with all of the leftover holiday food that they don't want to eat anymore, I can smell some wonderful snacks and food being prepared here, and I have done my research and found out that you can buy it. And so if you don't want to eat the cheese and crackers that are still in your fridge, or the leftover turkey or leftover ham, come on down, watch some great curling. eat some different food than what you've been used to. No more cheese, and enjoy some live curling. But thank you for joining us on the live feed.
Yeah, I believe we have 2 more draws today, one at 4 p.m. and one at 8 p.m.
And at 4 p.m. today we have the men's B qualifier game. So that's Weagle versus Young. Weagle did defeat Young in the A qualifier, so a bit of a rematch. And I'm sure Team Young is looking for a little redemption on that one. So come on down or join us live on the feed for 4 o'clock. So it looks like the start of an open end. Give you a quick update on sheet B, Batherson and Notting. It is currently 6-1 for Team Notting playing the 5th end. On sheet C, McNutt and Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald got 1 point in the 4th end, so it is 4-2 for McNutt playing in the 5th. And on sheet E, Team Moore and Team Stevens. Team Stevens stole a point in the 4th end, so it is 2-1 playing the 5th. Looks like we're exchanging open hits here, Jeremy, for our 5th end.
They're open, and you might think that that looks easy, but way out there at the end of the sheet, those can be challenging takeouts.
They definitely can. Knowing the ice and knowing what weight to throw is very important, because you're getting close to the edge of the sheet there, and you want to make sure that you see here Marin's taking ice on the rock, so she doesn't expect this outturn to curl very much, but also calling a normal hit weight.
Good shot.
And a little roll into the center, just changing up the path. And here we've got Courtney Lutz with the out-turn hit. Going just over curls. Sweepers were on and off that a little bit, so I don't know if it caught some curl that they weren't expecting, but a lot of those shots at the start of the end were way out on the edge of the 12. And this does make it, just a little bit of a different path and different ice, so.
Bit of an opportunity here for Team Callaghan. Placement of this rock can be important to take advantage of the miss. Don't want to set up a double. They want to be in the rings, but high enough that it makes the double difficult.
It looks like we've got a tight guard. So a little bit more action here. We're going to see Team Mosher try to hit and roll behind the guard that was just thrown by Team Callaghan.
Cleared out the house there.
And So Team Callaghan does have that guard that they just threw on their last shot. So Marin indicating a draw to the top 8 behind cover.
A good opportunity to put some pressure on the other team. Get this buried. Makes it that much harder for the other team to try to get multiple points here. Sweepers are right off this. There we go. Nice finish.
That one seemed to catch the sweepers off guard a little bit, almost an indication that it might have been heavy halfway down the sheet and then just stopping in the top 8 foot. We'll have to keep an eye on that after the break. At the end of this end, the players will have a 5-minute break. And sometimes the ice can change after that break. And always the 6th end heavies, sometimes it can catch you by a little surprise, so we'll keep an eye on that. But Emma throwing some big hit weight here. And peeling off the guard.
That was a great call. I liked that call. Could have tried to come around and get something closer to the pin. But if you have the hammer here, just leave yourself a shot at the end, get rid of that guard, and keep it open and clean. It's really smart.
Just had a shot on sheet E by Taylor Stevens that, if I counted correctly, moved about 6 rocks.
Ooh, wow.
So viewers, I know you can hear a bit of the sound on ice level, so if you heard a bunch of granite crashing together, that was sheet E.
I believe that guard is in a good spot, so they might be peeling again. It's hard to tell. A lot of skips will come up front and put the rock by the stone they're trying to peel.
Yeah, it looks like she may be trying a run back of some sort, or maybe just a straight peel, but...
Oh, wow.
Beauty of a shot. It doesn't get that rock out of the house completely, but it does move it off the center line. And Marin Callaghan comes down to throw her first rock of the 5th end. She's called this draw a few times this game, so this out-turn around the center guard.
She'll probably be looking for top 4, right along the same line as the yellow one that's in there now.
Sweepers are indicating it's a little bit heavy, so I don't see them sweeping or trying to use that yellow in the house, but we'll see. Oh, and just a little extra weight.
A little bit of opportunity here now for Team Mosher.
It's evident that both teams practice quite a bit. Their deliveries are very consistent. Releases seem to be very consistent, and that is a huge benefit coming to an event like this, to a provincial, for skips to be able to read the releases accurately and know that they're getting the same throw every time. Our curling deliveries are never perfect, but
to have consistency is key, and I'm pretty sure I was not very consistent when I was 15, so...
It takes a lot of practice.
And Clara Mosher here with her first. Looks like she's playing a controlled hit weight just to get rid of this yellow that Marin just moved around in the house. And directional sweeping to try to get it to curl, probably looking for a little roll behind the guard there, but will stay fairly on nose.
Could be a repeat of the first end here, and we may see a blank.
Jeremy, did you see if she indicated a roll behind the corner guard?
I didn't see. The roll behind the corner guard would make the blank a little tougher.
Sweeper sweeping to keep it straight. Keep the rock on the path that it's currently on. And a nose hit.
So I think we're going to see a blank attempt here, try to roll out to the right. Don't want to overthrow this and miss it. You also don't want to underthrow it and overcurl, so...
Mosher with a big hit weight. Sweeper is on it the whole way down the sheet, or sweeper on it the whole way down the sheet. And the blank is made. And that is it for the first half of our game, folks. We will be back in 5 minutes with the 6th end of play for Mosher versus Callaghan in the C division of the Under-21 Junior Provincials.
Good afternoon and welcome back to the women's draw of the 2020 Under-21 Provincial Curling Championships, brought to you by AMJ Campbell. We are starting the sixth end. For those of you who are just tuning in, my name is Katarina Hackinson and I'm joined by Jeremy Stewart.
Another nice afternoon of curling. So what are we expecting to see here in the last few ends?
Well, we've got a 2-1 game right now for Team Callaghan. Team Mosher blanked the fifth end. And I think this end will be interesting to see. The call from Team Callaghan was to bring it in. And I think, depending on what Clara Mosher decides here, will be indicative. She's calling the corner guards. I think we're going for 2. For Team Mosher, where it is the sixth end, it'd be ideal to get your 2 points or to blank the end to keep, 2 would be perfect. She's calling the corner guard, so she's indicating that she wants those 2 points. The idea from here on out is to get your 2, keep your opponent to 1, but keep hammering the even ends so that coming home in the 10th end, you have that hammer and you can throw your last rock and control the outcome of the game a little bit more.
A very close game so far. It's just 3-1 or 2-1, sorry, after 5 ends. So not a lot of high-end scoring curling this afternoon. Really need to get some rocks in play and generate some points.
So this is a C bracket or C division game. The winner of this has a little bit of a long road to get to playoffs, but it's very doable, as we were talking about earlier. The winner of our game has 3 more games to win before making it into playoffs. And the winner of this game will play off against the winner of Sheet C, which is Team McNutt and Team Fitzgerald. That score right now is currently 5-2 for Team McNutt, and they have just started their 6th end as well. Little update on the women's side. Team Taylor Stevens won the A playoff spot, which is a great spot to win. And they are currently playing in a B semi against Team Callie Moore, and that is on Sheet E. The score there after 5 is 2-2. And some great shot making happening in that game as well. Really great shot making across all 4 sheets today, Jeremy.
Absolutely. It's lovely to see the talent that we have here in Nova Scotia.
Give me a call.
I think a lot of the teams really look forward to this event every year, and they work hard and they practice and they play in other events to get ready for this event.
Definitely. The only game that we haven't given you an update on after the 5th end break is Team Batherson against Team Notting. The score there is 6-2 for Notting after the 5th end, and Team Batherson does have the hammer. That is the other B semi. And so the winner of Team Moore and Team Stevens and the winner of Batherson and Notting will play in the B final this evening at 8 o'clock, I do believe.
So we saw a nice first center guard by Team Callaghan, and then an opportunity from a miss from Team Mosher, and then another center guard played by Team Callaghan. Could be looking for a double peel here.
Yeah, Team Callaghan applying the pressure with those guards. Like we said, Team Mosher wants to score here or blank the end to maintain hammer, but scoring 2 would be ideal.
Good lead stones and having those guards in play and really getting the rest of the end set up. You can really see that here from Team Callaghan.
And that is, at a lot of other sports we have, different positions, and you may have 8, 12, 16 players on the team depending on the sport. But curling, you've got 4 people, and each rock, each end is so important. We always joke, the person after you can do some cleanup if needed, but really those lead rocks are so important to start the end off, and they can really make or break the plan you make for the end as a team. So if we say, okay, we're going to go steal, let's get 2 center guards up. Well, if the lead's heavy on those center guards, pretty hard to steal. We do have the 5 rock rule in play, but that will only take you so far if you make those rocks and keep them in the free guard zone.
The peel attempt. Oh, that was good. They got both stones moving.
Clears up the 4-foot line a little bit, but Team Callaghan looking to just put another guard back there and make the double peel a little more complicated for Team Mosher.
Placement of this rock is most important. Trying to completely cover that stone in the 8-foot. Looks pretty close from this perspective.
It does. I don't know what the space in between those 2 yellow guards looks like. Sometimes I don't see a port, and the curlers see a port that doesn't exist, that I think doesn't exist, but they make it through. So we'll see what Team Mosher's calling here. If she's calling a peel, a run back. And we've seen some big hit weight from Emma Noss this game. She seems to be the one coming in to clean up some double peels or some run backs, and she throws the big hit weight very accurately. Sweeper's on it right out of her hand. She got a lot of rocks moving. Unfortunate where that blue one kind of spilled into the center line, but she got both yellow ones moving.
She got that one almost all the way through.
It looks like it's just hanging on based on our camera angle.
So yeah, that blue one on the center line is a little bit of a problem. Allows them to set up staggered center guards.
And those can be much harder to get through, or to get around, once they are kind of Christmas treed, as we call them, or staggered.
It's a good time of year to use that term.
Yes, that's true. And sweeping to get that rock to curl and stagger. It will be interesting to see. Claire is calling the draw, so she's ignoring the guards up front.
They've been making the peels fairly well. I'm surprised they're not going for the peel again, but at some point you do have to cut your losses and go for the draw.
I think she is probably thinking to herself as well, how do I generate more than 1 point here? And applying some pressure by coming around those staggered guards. Maybe she may say, okay, let's see this Emma throw this draw. Let's see what the line does, what the weight does, and then I have 2 shots and I can follow that path. And so she may be testing that out right now. Jess kisses off and leaves that blue rock open for Team Callaghan to hit if desired, or to come down to.
Might have made that yellow stone pushed it a little closer. It's now biting the 4-foot. the draw a little tougher, and it's further buried behind the guard, so really hard to get to now.
And Team Callaghan electing for the open hit to sit 3. And to really apply the pressure for Team Mosher in the 6th end. You see Team Mosher, Emma and Clara talking about the shot and pointing and saying, okay, if she hits this, where do we go? What do we do? And that's a great sign of thinking strategically and what do we do next? And here comes Marin with this open hit. Sweepers are off it. And a nice shot. This looks to be a lot of ice, Jeremy. Do you think she's calling just a draw in?
Could be.
Or freezing to the one that she just threw? It's hard when we don't see the call because it looks like a lot of ice for a draw at the forefront.
Could be. However, we did just see a few over curl, so maybe they're seeing something that we're not seeing. Maybe they're swinging a lot. We're not sitting directly behind the sheet, so it's very difficult to see how the rocks are curling, but they might see something that we don't see. They're on it right away, so...
And I think that looking at this rock coming down, it is just moving that much, that the ice just has some great swing to it, especially from hogline in. That's Brian Rayfuse and his team are the ice technicians here at the Lakeshore Curling Club and have done a fantastic job this week.
Wow.
Great shot by Clara. Ideally would have loved to come a little bit closer to that yellow to avoid the opportunity for the blue to be removed, but great shot, great weight.
It does look like shot stone, so Team Callaghan is going to have to deal with that stone. If they ever did jam, it could open up a 2-point possibility for Team Mosher.
Talking about the ice technicians, it is a tiring job. They're here for every draw, so the last few days there have been draws at 8, 12, 4, and 8. And not a lot of spare ice technicians kicking around the province, so tiring for Brian and his team, but a job really well done.
Great shot.
And picks it fairly clean, catches the yellow at the back, but not a huge concern for Team Callaghan. The goal was to remove that blue, and Clara now has a shot for her 1.
It looks like she's going to repeat the same shot. They know the ice, they know the weight.
I find in junior curling specifically, and I was guilty of this my whole junior career, is sometimes when you have to make a shot like this against 2 that you just want to hit because you know how to hit and it's easier and it's less involvement with the sweepers, we think, but really the draw is the best call. She knows her draw weight. Sweepers have been sweeping rocks for 6 ends. And so great call. It's just a sign of confidence here from Clara. Maybe a little heavy, so maybe trying to come to this back yellow. Oh, and just rolls a little bit too much. And so that's a steal of 2 for Team Callaghan in the 6th end. That brings our score to 4-1 for Team Callaghan after 6, but still lots of curling left.
That's right, 4 ends is a lots of time to come back.
Let's check in on our other sheets here. Still waiting for the result of the 6th end for Callie Moore and Taylor Stevens on sheet E. On sheet C, McNutt has stolen another point, so it is, quick little mental math here, 6-2 for McNutt over Fitzgerald in our other C bracket game. And on sheet B, Batherson and Notting, looks like it's 8-2 for Notting after the 6th end. And so high intensity for sheets, for all sheets, but for C and D, where they are elimination games, teams want to keep curling, want to keep playing in this provincial and getting more and more experience. So all 4 teams on those sheets are into it and focused, and that's, even being down a few points, still lots of curling left for all of these teams.
Looks like a nice corner guard. We've got a center guard from Team Callaghan and a corner guard from Team Mosher.
Looks like we're going to have a busy end with some rocks in play. Our dedicated fans on the ice are still out there. Blankets, hats, mittens, and scarves, but I hear some cowbell. So cheering loud for their family members or friends. And Catherine Myers here with her second shot. And Mackenzie Hill in the hack. We're just having some audio difficulties here, folks. Stay tuned. That shot resulted in a peel on the yellow rock. And Courtney Lutz in the hack. Fairly open house right now. And the tap back on her blue. Hopefully stay in the house. Jeremy, it looks to me that they can see 3/4, if not all, of this rock. Maybe a little less than all of it, throwing big hit weight.
I'm going to try to catch the back one.
I think that's the plan, is to catch this blue and see if you can get a piece of that back blue. Looks like it's curling just a little too much and clips that guard. But it does open that side up.
That's the nice thing about a shot like that. If you do err on the tight side, you can peel the guard and move it over for another shot down the road.
So Claire Mosher with a hammer sitting 2 and has called Courtney Lutz to throw to the wing and just create some separation between those rocks. She would love to sit 3. The plan here would be to get 2 or more points, as it really always is, but with the current setup that would be great. Just needs to sit down. Great sweeping by Marin, but it does sit just at the back 12.
It's not too much to worry about back there, but it does add a little pressure in your mind, seeing those 3 blue stones in the rings. I'm going to go after that top one again. This time they have 2 to catch on to that.
Yeah, no hesitation. Marin indicated the double attempt. Just jams at the back, but great attempt by Team Callaghan and Lane Christie.
Going for a nose hit here, I think.
Yeah, and the only danger here for Claire Mosher's team is to make sure that they don't jam on one of the back blues. The separation right now, if they were to nose hit, makes it harder for Team Callaghan to make a double, so she really wants to keep that separation. I don't think Emanos has thrown a lot of draws this game.
I think so. You were commenting earlier that she's really accurate and throws good hit weight.
I've timed a lot of her hits, and I think just makes it and manages to keep that separation, which is great. Call on the back blue.
I think they're hoping to roll over a little bit. Shot. It's pretty close.
What we sometimes don't realize with those rocks in the back of the house when we're playing a hit is we call ice for rocks at the top of the house quite frequently, and we're peeling guards or we're hitting, nose hits or hit and rolls above the tee line. But with those rocks at the back of the house, it just gives them that much more of an opportunity to roll or to curl as they're going. And
That's
so
right.
It can make the tiniest bit of a difference, but important to keep in mind and to keep your sweepers close the whole way. A nice nose hit there, but does give Callaghan that opportunity to hit and roll behind the blue. And that blue guard there sitting on the corner would make it hard to promote that blue onto a yellow if it were to roll behind. So big opportunity here for Team Callaghan to apply a little bit of pressure and get out of a little bit of trouble.
skip stone. Team Callaghan.
That was a big woe from Marin, so... Oh, and just rolls out. But now it's important for Team Mosher to not set up a double. If they want to keep that 3 potential there, they need to be very strategic. I think they've identified a few different possibilities, but looks like they're going to that open side above the tee line.
I like that location. It's a different spot. It changes. They've been throwing a lot of hits on the right side, so they're going to move to the left side, give an opportunity to jam on that back blue stone.
And this is Clara Mosher's first rock of the 6th end. A little bit deeper than I think Clara was hoping for. It does set up that double, but still sitting 3 in the house with Marin Callaghan's last shot coming up. Marin's got a very consistent pre-shot routine. Been watching it every time, same movements, same process, and that's great for consistency and throwing her rock the same way every time.
Oh, so close.
Very close, but it does leave the open draw for Clara Mosher for 3, so big change, big turnaround in this game, Jeremy.
Goes to show how important it is to stay calm and keep your composure. You're down by 3, but very easily the next end you can get it right back.
Yeah, and that's that confidence that it's not over till it's over, and just to keep, you can only play, one shot at a time, one end at a time. I had a coach that used to tell me, throw the right weight at the broom with the right turn. And
That's
I
right.
thought, you say it's that easy, but it's really not that easy. But it is at the end of the day. And this looks like it's got a little bit of heat on it.
Oh, it needs to hit a rough spot.
Oh, and that's an unfortunate miss for Clara Mosher. She's going to want that shot back, but she gets her 2 on the board, and we are now 4-3 for Team Callaghan with the hammer playing the 7th end, playing the 8th end.
That's right, coming back to the 8th end.
Here I'm an end behind. We do have an update on sheet B. Team Batherson got 2 in the 7th, so it is now 8-4 for Team Notting playing the 8th with hammer. Sheet E, Team Moore and Team Stevens. It is 4-2 for Team Stevens playing the 8th end with a blank in the 7th. And Team Stevens, or Team Moore, will carry the hammer through to 8, my apologies. And a big 4 on the board for Team Fitzgerald on sheet C. And that score, if I can count around the curlers, it looks like it is tied 6-6 on sheet C, which is our other C bracket game. The winner of sheet C will play sheet D tonight at 8 o'clock. Some exciting games coming up at 4 o'clock as well in the men's provincial championships. The B playoff game will be at 4 o'clock, and it is Weagle versus Young. So come on down to the Lakeshore Curling Club, stay at home and tune in live. Lots of other great games going on as well. And no hesitation, Clara Mosher calls the tight guard without hammer. I'm sure she'd love to steal one here in 8, or at least keep her opponent to 1.
That's right. They're probably thinking a lot about who has the hammer and what end at this point. It's still a close game, and I'm sure they would love to come back in the 10th with the hammer.
Call here for Catherine Myers is top 4 around the corner, or the center guard that she just threw. For the folks at home, the bar is officially open. Come on down. They said the real bar is now open, so come and join us at the Lakeshore Curling Club.
Pretty good shot. Probably maybe a quarter buried. Or
She looks like she's indicating a bumper weight or board weight. Just to get around that guard and pop that blue, at least to the back, if not all the way out.
still in the free guard territory, so you can't remove that center guard, so make sure you're around.
Sweeping to make it curl. Looking to avoid that jam on the back.
Oh, great shot.
She kisses that yellow, but still sitting 2. Both teams still have 1 timeout left for the rest of the game. I always like to save a timeout for the 10th end, just in case I needed it, whether I was short on time or needed some coach advice. It's never a good sign when your coach called 2 timeouts before the 5th end. But these teams have used them carefully.
Oh, almost caught the one in the back. They were looking for a roll the other way, I believe.
Looking at the time, Team Mosher has just over 15 minutes left, and Team Callaghan has roughly 13 minutes left. For those at home, the players can see the scores through the time through the glass, and usually a team will have 1 person dedicated to the time, so that all 4 members aren't worried about it, and that they have someone focused, and that's their role, is to keep the team on track. Usually not the skip. It's a little hard for the skip to see. They're usually facing away from the glass or at the other end facing this way. But I know when I played lead, that was always my role, was to look at what the time was and if we needed to hurry up or if we had lots of time. And very important for that person to know how to communicate that you're short on time as well. You don't want to stress everyone out, but to have a way to tell them, we need to speed this thing up, or take your time, we have time, and that reassurance. And Claire Mosher calling for the draw around to the top 4 foot from Courtney.
Heavy.
Oh, and just kisses the back.
Really an opportunity for Team Callaghan to put one in there in the top 4, really close up that scoring area.
Marin Callaghan indicating to her team and to her thrower it can be a little light. You know, let's not create something at the back here. it can be kind of top 8, top 12.
That's right, you really don't want to give them something to freeze against. We're seeing curl here.
And her weight looked like it would have been tighter top 12, so maybe just tighter line. Clara going aggressive for the steal here, or at least the force to 1. She doesn't seem to be going after the yellows in the house that are open.
Some action from the sweepers here.
It looks like it's curling quickly towards that blue center guard.
I think we noticed that earlier, that side was curling a lot.
We did. That will be definitely a spot to watch as we get towards the 10th end here.
They changed last minute and they're just going for the draw now.
And we'll have to watch this one come down and see if it dives towards that center line as well, or if this little bit of extra ice that Marin has called, if that makes a difference.
You really hear the good communication out there, communicating line and
just leaving this guard high.
I think she knew it was going to be open.
Guard.
Didn't want to set up a hit and roll. However,
And with that blue being ticked over from Mosher's last shot, the line changed a little bit there, so more opportunity to get in, but you're right, it is open. Sweepers called on this right away. Trying to avoid that blue guard there at the center line. It looks like she's by. And that was nice soft hit weight. We've seen some big hits, but that was great controlled hit weight to try to get that roll. And Marin calling the same kind of shot, a bumper or board hit weight. This rock looks like it's coming towards the center line very quickly. But what do I know?
wow,
Great shot.
great shot. Got that little flip inside to make it much harder, if not impossible, with the same flip again.
Across the 4 sheets, I'm seeing more intensity. I don't know if you've noticed this, but more arm movements and louder screams. And I think as we get towards the 10th end, these games all mean so much to the teams. And your games on B and E are in B semi in the B division, but the losers of those games drop down to C, and that's your last chance. You got to keep winning after that. And of course on C and D are our C division games where is do or die. The winners keep going and the losers are unfortunately out. So a little more emotion in these last few ends. Clara calling the draw around, really trying to apply that pressure.
catch the same curl that some of the others have. I wonder if that would have caught the same curl. Would it have curled in and died?
No, you're right. It really didn't. It stayed on a straight path there. Interesting, we saw that spot coming there that curled a lot towards center, and then it seems like just that little bit outside of that path is staying fairly straight, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. Marin Callaghan's coach indicating a timeout, so we'll see if the girls pick up on that. And they do. So timeout for Team Callaghan, as Coach Mike Callaghan and Bob Martin go out to chat with their teams.
They must have noticed something they were interested in discussing.
It is their last timeout, so... But it is a close game, so any advantage right now to make sure that you're telling your team, what to do now, but also what the strategy is going forward is a good use of a timeout.
I'm not sure, was she calling a hit on that blue stone? I saw her lining up where she wanted to hit the rock.
I didn't see the call. I had some other participants from another sheet in front of me, but I thought I'd see it when they went down to the house, or down to the hack, but...
It's interesting because that line could work for a draw or a hit, so hard for us to tell.
Yeah.
We're seeing a lot of pointing going on out there, so
Yeah,
good discussion happening. We should start some betting on Twitter or something. People to chime in on what the shot was and what the shot should be. I don't think we're allowed to do that, though. And that's the thing about curling is there's no right or wrong way to play. There's different strategies, and sometimes the same strategy works and sometimes it doesn't. And it's not only about strategy, it's also about execution.
And a big thing for us is we're sitting behind the glass. We don't know what's going on and what the ice is doing. I mean, we can make judgment based on what we see, but the players may have insight that we don't have. So always good to provide opinions and what our thoughts are, but really up to the players and what they're comfortable with.
And after the timeout, the broom is back in essentially the same spot or pretty close to it. Doesn't really give us a lot of information.
And we will see. She is throwing the in-turn, so it does look to me like this is a draw. We'll have to watch this spot to see if it curls like it has been or if she's out far enough that it'll stay straight.
The weight looks pretty close. Cool.
And that's a great shot by Marin. Ideally a tiny bit higher in the forefoot, but great shot nonetheless, great line. For those at home wondering about the speed of the ice, that rock hog to hog, if you trust my timing skills, was a 14.6. So the ice is still pretty quick, Jeremy, and we're in the 8th end.
Speaks a lot about the ice making.
Which definitely is an art, and kudos to Brian and his team.
So are we looking at a freeze? I believe so.
I believe Clara is looking just to freeze down to that and force Marin to make a tough shot for one. Sweepers are on it right out of her hand. I don't know if it has the line here, Jeremy. And this is a big swing. This is a hit for 4. for Team Callaghan, which would open up the scoring quite a bit.
That one didn't catch the curl like a few of the others did, so there must be a line there where some of them are curling, and if you're on the other side of that line, it just tracks a little bit straight.
The sweepers run it the whole way for weight, so both sweepers are sweeping, so it could have an impact on its ability to curl as well.
Great throw.
And that is a 4-ender for Team Callaghan. So that opens it up a score of 8-3 for Team Callaghan in the 8th end. After the 8th end, playing the 9th end. I can't get my ends straight. Little update for you on sheet B. Team Notting got 2 in the 8th. So that is 10-4 for Notting over Batherson. Our other B division game, Moore and Stevens, is a close one. It's 4-3 for Taylor Stevens after the 8th end. Team Moore got 1 in the 8th. And sheet C, our other C division game, Team McNutt got 1 in the 8th end. And so that game, my mental math is it's 7-6 for Team McNutt over Team Fitzgerald playing the 9th end. Selena and I joked about that yesterday, Jeremy, that we almost need a little calculator because you're counting and you're saying it and trying to say it so quickly, but
It's tough. They're using the baseball type scoreboard instead of the typical curling scoreboard you'd see at a curling club.
like as curlers we've been taught one way, unless you curl here regularly. But a lot of the other clubs have different scoring, so keeps it interesting, keeps us on our toes, and people at home laughing at the fact that I can't count. It's great.
It's challenging.
Yeah, it's great. And so Clara Mosher calling the corner guard here.
It's interesting sometimes what happens. You get a big lead and you start to, think, okay, what do I do now? Maybe you change your style a little bit, try to play a little bit more defensively, like get rid of stones, hit stones out. Sometimes you tend to make a few mistakes and leave some opportunities for the other team to get some big ends. So this will be interesting to see what happens in the next couple of ends here.
Yeah, this is Clara Mosher's opportunity and Team Mosher's opportunity to capitalize on any miss, to really try to get rocks in play and create a bit of a mess to see how many rocks they can get in the house. So for Team Callaghan, really important to keep things open. With that guard there, they'll probably want to try to remove that later on. Not a big need to steal right now, but just to keep it open. And really, if Team Mosher gets 1 or 2 this end, that's not a big deal. You come home up a few with hammer, and that's a position we'd all like to be in, that's for sure. Call for the draw around the corner guard. Looks like it's just gonna slip out the back of the house.
I would have really liked that one to hang on.
That's unfortunate. It does create a bit of backing there and hope for a jam later on, but ideally would have loved to have that even just biting the back 12 if anything. Mackenzie Hill now looking at the come around. big thing here is not to create too much of a wall behind the tee line and not to junk it up too much, as some previous coaches would say, to allow Team Mosher to draw 2 rocks. But great shot above the tee line.
And that's really going to put some pressure on.
And Clara ignoring those 3 yellow rocks and saying, let's use that corner guard, let's stick some behind here and try to generate a multiple point end. Girls are sweeping to get this by the guard, and it looks like it may have just kissed the guard or just got by, but great sweeping, great shot. Maybe a little exposed.
I think they can probably see all of that one. You can see in your camera right now.
From my angle, it's perfectly guarded. So
I'm sort of
I
taking
bet
a
Team
peek at the
Mosher wants
broadcast.
that, my angle instead. But yeah, big hit weight here from Mackenzie, so must be wide open.
Good shot.
And we do have a final to update you on. Team Notting has defeated Team Batherson, which means Team Notting will play in the B final, and Team Batherson will drop down to the C division. So now Team Notting waits for the winner of Sheet E, Moore versus Stevens. And no hesitation, Marin Callaghan runs up to peel that corner guard.
Well, everybody's in my way, so that's good.
And Lane Christie with the peel attempt here. This peel would open it up completely and force Mosher to play a few hits, or at least some taps to get rocks to the back of the house.
No, that was me.
Wow, great roll.
That was my bag.
You really didn't need a guard there. I guess there's a lot of commotion going around us right now.
Yeah, with that Sheet B, Notting and Batherson coming off the ice.
Looks like there could be an opportunity to double and roll in behind that yellow line.
And Team Mosher was really no other option than to call some weight and try to move some rocks around there
That's
in the
right.
house.
Need to open something up. Try to create a scoring opportunity.
And like we've said all game, we've got Emma Noss with some hit weight.
I think it's over. I think a higher risk.
Sweepers off it for now. It does clear the front out. She would have loved her shooter to stay around to make Team Callaghan deal with it, but clears out the front. A little less daunting for Team Mosher.
believe we're seeing either a freeze or maybe top 12, something up there.
This is an
sort of a-
intimidating house, eh, for Team Mosher if you're blue?
It is, a lot of yellow, and just calling for a either in or just tight, just in front of that shot stone.
Tempting to throw a guard. I think I'd love to throw, top 12 or biting the top 8 or something to make it harder for Mosher to draw around.
Yeah.
This guard could very well come into play for Team Mosher. She still has 3 rocks left, and the deuce is still very much an option for Team Mosher here with some shots made and hopefully a miss.
Oh, absolutely. Every shot counts. They're trying to come around the guard and
Yeah, sit on that rock, top 4. Weight looks pretty good. Sweepers are sweeping to get it in. Right on top of that.
curled lots.
And that's a great shot by Emma. Still not shot rock, but potential for setup for Clara's shots. And now that guard that Team Callaghan just threw could be a tiny bit of a problem for them. So she must be able to see a little bit of it. She looks like she's going after it.
Yeah, I think so.
Like we said for Team Callaghan, even giving up a point or two here isn't the end of the world. Come home a few up with hammer. So good to go after it. In worst case, you peel the guard. And she does clip the front there, but not a horrible outcome.
It's a tough shot because if you were a little wide and you ever came around that blue one and clipped your yellow one out, you'd lose your shot stone. Not a bad miss there.
Clara looking to bump her blue back, I believe, Jeremy,
I believe
onto
so,
the
yeah.
yellow.
I'll try to sit 2 after this, I think. Don't want to bump it back too far, but far enough that I'm back there in the 8 foot so that they can sit 2.
I don't know if it's over curled there or... Oh, just a little more weight would have had it out there sitting 2, but nonetheless a good shot.
Yeah. And there's backing back there.
There may be a double opportunity here for Marin. But you want to be careful because you don't want to ever give up an opportunity for 3 or...
That's right, you never know what can happen. Sometimes you don't see the possibilities and you come down and you throw a shot and you don't think anything can go wrong and then, oops. All your stones are gone and all the opponent's stones are sitting around. Ooh, how did that happen?
We saw that in a game yesterday. One team had a hit for 3, and then they missed, and the next shot, the other team had a hit for 3. I
Wow.
thought, how did this happen? Wait a second, but it can you just never know with this sport. And Marin has thrown a lot of weight. A little bit extra in her extension there, so we'll see if this rock does in fact curl up.
Wow.
What a great shot. That's what a lot of weight gets you for Marin Callaghan.
Yeah, that was an excellent shot.
Beautiful double to force Team Mosher to 1. And so for Clara, this is an important shot. Keep her composure. She is facing 4 yellow stones. she does have some backing on the back four there, so important for the sweepers to communicate the weight. Sweepers staying very far behind it. And it looks like it just has that extra weight, Jeremy, and it's going to go right through the back. So that is a steal of 4 for Team Callaghan. And that will be handshakes.
Handshakes.
So Team Callaghan moves on to continue in the C division against the winner of Sheet C, McNutt and Fitzgerald, which is in a tight battle. If you want to flip over to Sheet C on the live stream, they will have the 10th end there for you. But on behalf of Sheet D and myself and Jeremy, we want to thank you for tuning in. And don't forget to drop down to Lakeshore Curling Club to watch some awesome curling, or join us back here at 4 o'clock today. Thanks, Jeremy.
Thank you.